Three Dallas Mavericks have strong ties to the Las Vegas Valley, but none as strong as Jaden Hardy's. Stars like Luka and Kyrie may dominate the headlines, but at Coronado High School, all eyes are on number one.
You know what we're trying to build here, and for me to have these opportunities, to have this chance to play in the playoffs my first time, it's a great experience.
I sent him a text when they got to the final, and his response was just a heart emoji. His face, he was acting like a little kid a little bit. You know, he was dancing and having fun, and that's, you know, he's 21 years old, but you can just tell how happy he is, and I'm just so happy for him.
A two-time Nevada Gatorade Player of the Year, Jaden Hardy is a role player for the Mavs in his second year as a pro.
It's a Hardy three.
Scoring in double digits twice this postseason. The point guard and his high school coach share a close relationship.
When you have a player that makes it to the NBA, let alone the NBA Finals, you're very excited and very proud. I got to go to Game 6 against the Thunder. Next week I'm going to go to see him play in Game 3 in Dallas.
Kaufman says Hardy already appearing in the finals is an example of good things coming to good people.
Jaden Hardy puts in a three.
Yeah, he's a great basketball player, but it really doesn't compare to what a great person he is. There's 3,500 kids that go to Coronado, and not one of them didn't like Jaden Hardy.
A consensus five-star prospect and the top recruit in the nation at Coronado, Hardy was a force to be reckoned with as a Cougar.
As a coach, you know, you always want your best player to be your hardest worker. And he was the hardest worker. You know, it makes it easy. We went and played everybody while he was here, and I was never afraid of losing games because you had him.
And his NBA potential was always evident.
I mean, from the day he got here, going into 9th grade, we knew right away. I mean, you can just tell. There's certain people that just have it.
After breaking school scoring records, the 6'3" sharpshooter stayed in Henderson to play for G League Ignite. Hardy was a second-round pick in 2022 and was elevated to the Mavs lineup by the end of his rookie season.
Hardy wanted it! He's got it!
Now he'll rep the Valley on the biggest stage of basketball after 5 formative years on local hardwood.
Hardy takes it and floats in for 2.
He has so many roots here in Las Vegas. He played his AAU basketball here in Las Vegas. He went 4 years of high school in Las Vegas. He knows Vegas is behind him and Henderson is behind him. And I think he's really happy about that and proud about that.
You can watch Hardy and the Mavs take on the Celtics in the NBA Finals right here on Channel 13. Game 1 tips off Thursday night. So you're a former player, the name right behind you, Jaden Hardy, making the NBA Finals already as a pro, and you got to coach him here. How proud are you of his development so far in his career?
Well, of course, when you have a player that makes it to the NBA, let alone the NBA Finals, you're very excited and very proud. I got to go to Game 6 against the Thunder, and it was great just being there and watching him, and super exciting for me. I didn't even care about the game. I was just so happy to see him out there, and next week I'm going to go to see him play in Game 3 in Dallas.
You know, we don't have the opportunity to actually speak with Jaden because he's, you know, super busy guy right now, and all the media restrictions and everything. We're not ESPN, but you might have had conversations with him, given you all's relationship. You know, how exciting is this time for him? How is he taking all of it?
You know, I sent him a text when they got to the final, and his response was just a heart emoji. That was it. So that tells me right away from Jaden that he's very excited, and he's such a great human being, you know, and it's such a great thing for him. And I don't know if you watched the end of the game. I mean, you could just tell his face. He was acting like a little kid a little bit. You know, he was dancing and having fun, and that's, you know, he's 21 years old, but you can just tell how happy he is, and I'm just so happy for him.
Well, he's had quite the journey, right, in foregoing college to join the Ignite, and you know he's had a lot of steps along the way to build his game. Even though he was such a sensational player as a high schooler, you know, how have you seen his game improve to where, you know, he's beginning to peak in the NBA? He has so much more growth to go.
Well, he was always, I mean, from the day he got here as a you know, going into 9th grade, we knew right away. I mean, you can just tell. There's certain people that just have it. And the way that he shot the basketball, and the way that he attacked the rim, and the way that he approached working out, and how much he was just a gym rat, and how much he loved it. You knew right away that he was going to get there. As he developed in high school, it became, as a coach, you know, you always want your best player to be your hardest worker. And he was the hardest worker. I mean, he was never complained about being out in the heat and running. He never was late. Always here first. Always stayed late. Dad would come in after and they would shoot. I mean, he was the hardest worker, and he wanted to win. And so, you know, it makes it easy. We went and played everybody while he was here, and I was never afraid of losing games because you had him. As he got older I mean, he just destroyed people, but it was easy for him. And, you know, there was the whole thing about, are you going to go to college? Are you going to go to Ignite? I was personally leaning for college, but he chose Ignite, and that was a tough lesson for him, because now you're jumping into pros, grown men, 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and they're all looking, you know, you're going to the NBA. They already know that because you're on Ignite. They're looking to get another contract. They're looking to get a shot, and they will beat you up. And you know, he had to struggle with that for a while. He was still averaging 18 points a game, but they weren't pretty. They were kind of ugly, and he needed to learn how to refine that game. You know, be a little more efficient in how he handled the ball and how he shot the basketball, and he did. And he just keeps on keeping on, and it's starting to show a little more and more and more.
So obviously he wears Dallas across his chest, so
Yeah.
he's really representing the city of Dallas, but he's had a really strong history here in the Valley, even if he's from Michigan.
Yes.
You know, how proud do you think he is just to represent this school, this area, given his high school career and his time at Ignite?
You know, the thing I tell people a lot about Jaden is, yeah, he's a great basketball player, but it really doesn't compare to what a great person he is. Jaden always had this light about him that just made him special. And what I mean by that is he did everything the right way. He was a great student. He was a great teammate. He was a great friend. Like, everybody here, there's 3,500 kids that go to Coronado, and not one of them didn't like Jaden Hardy. You know, he just always had that smile. He always wanted to be one of the kids. You know, when I went out a week ago, Pop Isaacs, who was his teammate when he was a freshman, came with me, and Pop was there, and Pop stayed at his house. Next weekend, Frankie Collins, who's now at TCU, is coming to the game with us. So he's made those relationships. He has so many roots here in Las Vegas. He played his AAU basketball here in Las Vegas. He went 4 years of high school in Las Vegas. You know, he still has close ties. So he knows Vegas is behind him, and Henderson is behind him. And I think he's really happy about that and proud about that.
It's hard to beat having Luka and Kyrie as teammates, you know, having all-stars like that, some of the best in the game right now. And, you know, some other young guys don't really have that opportunity to be, you know, sitting next to these guys who are perennial all-stars. You know, how do you think that his surroundings can make him an even better player?
Well, as I said, he's a good person. You like being around him, which took a guy like Kyrie, Jaden's told me Kyrie's taught him a lot of different stuff. And you know, you got if you're a pro like Kyrie, you got to like somebody to give him your time. Jaden's 21 years old, and he did. And Luka, if you see them, you know, he's really nice to Jaden, and that kind of stuff is indicative of how people treat Jaden and what Jaden's earned, and that's only going to make them better, because I don't think there's a better duo in basketball right now than those two. I really don't.
And I looked through the stat sheets throughout the playoffs so far, and obviously Hardy, he's having games where he might be having 12, 13 minutes a game, sometimes south, sometimes north.
Yep.
And he's had a few games this postseason where he's gone for double-digit points. I mean, through this postseason stretch with the Mavs making the finals, and how do you think he's stepped up to the moment, given he's just 20?
Well, Jaden's never been afraid to shoot the basketball, ever. So, you know, getting to the NBA didn't make him afraid, and I think that's part of the beauty about him. You know, it's a blessing and a curse. Jaden is a scorer, period. And he gets in the games, he don't care. He's going to let the ball go. And it seems like, you know, the staff at the Mavericks and the players are letting him become what he is. You know, I guess there's other things that he has to work on so he gets more than the 12 or 13 minutes, but I think you know, it will all come together. He's very young.
All right, perfect. All right, we're good to go.
That was easy, man.
Yeah.